Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Pumpkin Road update. A little bit overdue, or more than I wanted it to be, but we're here now nonetheless. And the layout's looking quite a bit different. So I think what we'll do, we'll start at one end, maybe the shed end, break up into three sections, and we'll move along the layout that way. So without further ado, we'll get into the first bit. Right, okay, so we'll start down in front of the shed. Main differences that you're going to see in this video is I have started the scenery work, adding some greenery, and then some detailing items as well, just because I can't help myself really. But the greenery started along the back of the retaining wall there, just some small shrubs, bushes, some grass tufts and things, etc. And that has kind of just made its way further down the layout and down the side of the shed. So that was the first addition. You'll also see here that we now have some point levers. These are an old white metal item, got quite a few of them knocking around. I cut up a couple of extra sleepers, mounted them at the side of the point as per the prototypes, and yeah, they've just been really quickly and briefly weathered for now. So we've got some point levers in on all the points. We've got a little raised manhole cover there, that's just sat there as well. Down in front of the shed, so detailing continues. So a water crane there, again another old white metal item. I seem to have quite the stash of I think I once bought a bundle of white metal parts. There's a multitude of things in there, and this water crane and drain was one of them, so we've painted and weathered that up. You'll see the forklift just sat inside the shed there. Not saying that's going to stay there, but for now it fits and locos are passing it quite nicely. But there is a hole in the floor of the shed, so something will go in there at some point to keep that covered up. You'll also see some detailing items, some 3D printed items. So I fired up the 3D printer. It's not something I've fully got into yet. I play with it and I have a dabble. And the other night I kind of thought I'll go all out and have a good try here. So we've got some braziers, some oil drums, some pallets, and there's some other things knocking about that you may see. But yeah, starting to add some detailing items. The ballasting has also begun from this point onwards down the yard, so the back entrance road to the shed was done, but we've now come from this point work, and we've kind of done all the ballasting throughout the remaining yard. I won't be ballasting the points, so the baseboard's painted underneath, and one of my other little things I do need to do is weather the side of the rails, again as per that rear track, and that'll be fine for the points. I'm not mucking around gluing and painting points, I just don't trust them. I don't trust myself not to bung them up. So yeah, we're ballasted throughout, but the rails do need weathering. As you can see, detailing continues. We've got another point lever, another raised manhole cover. We've got a ballast bin in there. Again on this rear siding, the greenery's continued, and again some more 3D printed items which aren't necessarily staying here, but yeah, just things I've been up to. The greenery down the shed, so I do want to mention these vines here, or this ivy type looking plant. Now this isn't a sponsored video by Temu, but I must admit I have become quite obsessed with Temu. It was something I stayed away from for quite a while. I know a lot of people use it. It wasn't something I ever trusted really, but I gave it a shot a couple of months ago, ordered some random items and it all turned up, and I thought, okay, we'll do that again. Now for scenery stuff, modelling items, it's fantastic, and it is dirt cheap. So this ivy crawling plant here, I literally got a bag about the size of a big bag of flour, and it is crammed with these. I mean, you wouldn't use the amount of greenery in there in 5 lifetimes, let alone 1 lifetime, and I think it costs like £1.19p, something daft like that. So I do have another Temu order on the way. Loads and loads of different sorts of static grasses and shrubbery and things, just loads of things, and I'm going to use that to kind of fill out the rest of the yard, because I do want the yard overgrown. So yeah, once that arrives, we'll be able to crack on with the rest of the ground cover down here. But I'm happy with the shed scene. You know, now it's getting some greenery and some detailing parts in there. Really happy with how it's looking. Just at the front of the layout here, we've just put some old British Rail slanted fencing. and a post box to fill the corner. The sandpaper road hasn't had any progress on it yet, but it will do in due course. But yeah, this is how the shed end is looking for now. Okay, next end we're going to look at the platform end. Won't call it a station end because it's not really a station, but it is a platform. So again, if we work inwards, so you'll see the greenery has continued. We've got some more of the ivy crawling up the retaining wall there. Another little 3D printed item, just a little relay box, and we have another point lever on that last set of point work there. Now the back scene, so we have had a shed end, factory end appear on the back scene, and you'll see we've got a gap there. Now this was a happy accident, to be honest, but just at the bottom corner of that factory there is a screw that pokes through from where I mounted the backboard, and we will be able to nicely just fit in there one more retaining wall piece in between the factory and the end of the wall there, which will fill that gap nicely. And then here, right, so this is where the most changes have happened really, and I must say I've really thoroughly enjoyed doing this end of the layout. If we talk about the back scene first, so that there is a laser cut factory end. The name of the company, I'm not too sure. On eBay, is it Greenwood Laser Cutting, maybe something like that. I'm sure it's got green in the name, but I've used them before. Really quality stuff. I mean, if we zoom in on this a little bit and get a little bit closer, you can see you've got your fans there and all the brickwork. All the retaining walls and things at the bottom were all separate items. Just really nice quality laser cutting. Just painted that a basic brown, weathered it up around the fans, put some streaking down the wall. I will say the streaking and marking on there is not that prominent in real life. It is all blended in a lot more. It's not how I'm seeing it right now. Glazing, there is glazing in there, if the light catches it, but there is glazing in there, and that's just painted black on the back. A couple of little fire exit signs, etc. I did have this random piece of railing knocking around, so I kind of bent that to shape to put it in there, so the doorway don't come straight out onto the tracks. And again, another little printed pallet and oil drum there. And the greenery continues. So the back scene, once that wall's in there, will be nice and completed. That far corner was just some overgrowth, etc., just to cover all that up. So yeah, very happy with the back scene. Then the platform, so again, another piece that I'm really happy with. So this is an old Hornby Triang platform, and I thought it'd do the job, but they are very basic and very simple and not particularly quality. So I have kind of gone all out on this. So we did give it a weathering. We are weathered all over, some signage, again some old BR style slanted fencing, and then we do have a 3D printed nameplate there, actually on the front of the layout. Some signage, way in, way out, no parking. Actually on the platform itself, so we've got a couple of posters, again a little bit of greenery. We have flagged the top, so these are some self-adhesive flagstones that I've had knocking about for donkey's years, don't know where they're from. But they've gone on there, also weathered. And then we have a couple of little detailing items, got another oil drum, some milk chains, and then another white metal piece, which is that lamp there. So really happy with this corner, with this end of the layout. One thing I do want to show with this platform, so if I just take this off, so underneath there we have the track plug, where it's all wired up. And just to centre that platform, I don't know if you can notice there, but I have made a hole and mounted a teeny tiny little magnet just next to the track there, and then there is one underneath the platform. So when I'm trying to centre it and put it in that gap, I can put it in there, magnet grabs like that, still twists at the end, but it grabs next to the track, and I can put it in there exactly where it needs to be. So job is a good one. So yeah, really happy. One other little thing I put at this end was I did mount some lighting up here. Now this is a little bit rigged up, but it's just a cheap battery operated light switch, which I've just mounted up there. And if we put this on, yep, and it just provides some extra light at this end of the layout. I think it does make a difference. We turn it back off there, it is pretty dark, So some extra lighting, yeah, makes a world of difference. So yeah, hope you like the platform end. And then next we'll take a look at the plans for the foreground of the layout. Right then, so this front scene of the board, now I mentioned right at the start that I'd envisaged having some like a street scene, a village scene along the front here. I liked the idea of being able to look through the houses and see the railway at the back, and I'm sticking with that, and it is what we're going to do. So I've got the items found that I want. So again, it's some more laser cut items, and they are a pair of terraced Victorian front houses. So in effect there will be like 4 here, there'll be 2 there, 2 there. This is where they're going to go regards the front of the layout, but I do think they're going to go backwards a little bit. So you see the little arrows there. I think I'm just going to push the whole scene back, just to make this road area a little bit narrower and easier to fill. The gardens at the front there will just give me some more space. But yeah, that's the plan. We're going to have a pair of houses in there, driveways at the sides, gardens at the front. We see we've got some 3D printed pumpkin patch there. So again, I was away with the 3D printer. I feel like there should be some pumpkins somewhere for Pumpkin Road, so that particular person is going to enjoy growing veg in their garden. But yeah, so that's where the houses will be. Like I said, the road's going to come around the back of the houses, some more street lamps, things, etc. I have a bus stop up here as well. You can just see bus stop there on the road, and that should fill this bit in. Moving along, so the plan was always to have a church on here, a churchyard. The missus has always wanted me to have a church on one of my railways, and I thought, well, making a village scene, this might be the one. Same again, I know the item I'm wanting, it's been measured, etc., ready to go, but same again, I think I'm going to push that back a little bit more like the houses, and just give me some more like churchyard area at the front. Car park there at the end, I think, is what we're going to do, so in between the church and the houses. The road will just continue around the back. We might have like a little bit of a lay-by section at the back of the coach, which I'm presuming, you know, your wedding cars and your funeral cars can pull up in. And then down this end, just following the roadway off of the scene, is where we'll have the churchyard. So this will be all your gravestones and things, etc., etc. And once that front section's filled out, which is probably the part I'm most looking forward to be honest, especially when the buildings are in. Once the buildings are in, I think we've really going to have cracked it there. So yeah, lots of progress and lots of plans in preparation as well. I want to keep going with the 3D printer, see what other things we can churn out, but I think the buildings need to turn up next, and we'll get those in, and then we'll really start to see it, you know, in its final disguise, I think. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy this update. Hope you like the work that has been done. Another look at the platform in there. Let's make his way down the tracks past the wonderful iconic loco to me there, and then in the nice detailed yard. So hopefully not too long till the next update. I am, you know, I'm inspired with all this at the minute. I've not done anything on it for a while, kind of lost my mojo, wanted to finish some commission work, but I'm back on it, back enjoying it, and so hopefully we'll continue to crack on. Right, until the next one, as always, leave your comments, let me know what you think, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching, bye bye.